Hi, Mark here from the Tangent Bound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangent Bound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangent Bound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangentBoundNetwork.com and see if Tangent Bound Network is right for you.
This is a Danger Entertainment podcast. DangerEntertainment.net. Danger Entertainment Podcast Network.
Welcome to the podcast from Temperance Town, the sexiest podcast of world renowned. Tony grows a beard to hide his chin, swaps it with Earl so it glistens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
Download the pod, you won't get enough of these dapper chaps talking deadly fluff. In Hobo Gulch they run a homeless mission, clanging and banging with the pentagram of kittens.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
They enjoy their whiskey and local craft beer. By Odin's unkempt pubis we give a cheer. Tony's a raccoon when he's booziest. Don't be a savage, be an enthusiast.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
On the frozen tundra they call it a lock. Tony likes to masturbate in a sock. Brian pisses rocks cause it feels so great. I still don't know who the fuck is Tate.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier.
The boys will let you know when there's a spurter. Due to male pattern baldness, they don't wear curlers. Stay salty, people, that's their closing line. And don't forget, have a beer, you'll be fine.
Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty, salty language, kings of the sexy frontier. Salty language.
Hey enthusiasts, this is Salty Language episode 346.
So mystical, 45 drop. Sexiest podcast on the network. This is Tony.
I'm Brian. I'm coming at you on the 316. You know what that means. Maybe.
Oh, shit. Steve Weiser's flying through the air.
Yep.
So how do you celebrate 316, Brian?
Well, clearly I have some J-Barone, throwing me beers, and I
Right.
just pour most of them all over myself and take like a drink.
I celebrate by stomping a mud hole in some sort of pool.
Now, do you walk it dry?
I do walk
Okay,
it dry.
okay.
And
So-
then I stun everybody in the room.
Right, of course. Kick stuns for all. Yeah. Well, I prefer to go with the middle finger than the kick stun, but to each.
To each their own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
True. Dealer's choice. Really.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love the fact that stupid pop culture stuff has become like this. Like that 314 has become a big deal. That it's Pi Day.
Yes.
That even though it annoys me on Twitter and stuff, I like the May the 4th be with you and Return of the 5th. That kind of stuff. And now today being 316, and people
It's for sure just Stone Cold Day.
Yeah, exactly. So there's
no better way to celebrate. I mean, like I was telling you, if you follow us on Instagram, which is Salty Language on Instagram, we fully celebrated 316 Day today,
which makes sense because it's a big deal.
It is a big deal.
People that don't watch wrestling are like, "What the hell are they talking about?"
Yeah, exactly.
But that's all right.
No, the goddamn Doug's around there. I can't do his voice.
Right. What we're talking about is I believe it was during a King of the Ring tournament. Jake Roberts was quoting scriptures and whatnot, and then Stone Cold just fucking dropped the, "Oh yeah, well Stone Cold 316 says I just whipped your ass," and there it was, and it just blew up after that. So.
Become a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It'll forever be a thing, in my opinion. At
Right.
least if it's up to the Salty Language podcast.
Yes.
It'll forever be a thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And even though I was never the biggest Stone Cold fan, I was more a fan of The Rock and stuff, but I did enjoy the fact that the dude got to go on TV and pay-per-views, stick a middle finger in his boss's face, kick him in the gut, and then drop him on the ground. That's pretty awesome. Even though Vince McMahon is the worst at selling the Stone Cold Stunner. Oh, I don't know.
No.
Donald Trump's the worst.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Also posted on the Instagram.
Well, of course, yeah. Very relevant. And that's why I say he's the first sitting president, or any president, to have been hit with a Stone Cold Stunner.
Hit with a stunner.
Yeah. It's certainly a cultural phenomenon. The weird part is how many years later, and people still talk about that stuff. It's
right?
amazing in some stuff where it just lasts, forever, basically. So,
I know, right?
yeah. I mean, people remember like Hulk, Hogan body slamming Andre the Giant, at the Silverdome, and,
Right.
then Stone Cold's era. And, I'm sure there's others, obviously, with The Rock and John Cena and stuff that have been the massive names, also. But it's just kind of fun. Cause I've seen a lot of stuff today making Stone Cold jokes and using GIFs and stuff. It's just, I love it cause, wrestling geek. So.
Well, yeah, for sure. Right.
Right. Plus the idea of just going up to random people and kick stun,
Well, yeah.
Goes through my head a lot.
Everybody.
And then calling for some Steve Weisers,
Well, yeah. I mean, if I had somebody just toss me beers.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
The best part was when
middle of a daycare.
Oh, that'd be great.
Beers come flying.
Oh, I thought like kick stun a toddler and then call for beers.
Yes.
I like how I didn't go for the caregivers. I went right for the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
What an asshole.
I deserve it the most.
Right.
Yeah.
Just calling for them beers,
If I kick stun a toddler, I want him to sell it like The Rock and they do like a backflip.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. The Rock sold them better than anybody. Cause you're right.
Yeah, right.
He would flip all over the place. It was so cartoony.
Classic.
Whereas Vince McMahon just looked like a sack of potatoes most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
He was so stiff. There were a couple though, when he got hit, there were times where I'd be like, ooh, cause you actually think he didn't, get in a safe position basically.
Right.
I don't know how he didn't break his neck.
He just lost some brain cells.
Yeah. I don't know how he didn't break his neck on some of them because they're so brutal looking, but,
He's a trained professional, Brian.
I guess.
Or something.
Yeah. So how are you on this 316?
I'm pretty good. I've, I spend my day looking at Stone Cold stuff online, just posting stuff.
Always
and
then,
fun. We just had a nice long podcast for.
At any point today, did you use
Steve Weisers?
Right. I was going to say, did any point did you use or look at the one with him swimming in the ring?
No,
that's one of my favorite Stone Cold gifs. Yeah, where the ring's like wet from beer, I think it is, and then he's just like acting like he's swimming in the ring. So ridiculous.
Unfortunately, I did not post that one. It should have though.
Yeah, that's all right. People can go find it themselves now. Just type in Stone Cold Steve Austin or Stone Cold or Steve Austin, whatever, in your gift search. Not on Snapchat or IG, but, you know.
The old Stone Cold swim meet.
Yep. Good fun. Good fun.
Good times, mate.
Yeah, you're right. We just recorded a Fun Enthusiasts, and, yeah. Nice.
It's been real, man.
Took a couple weeks off from the Enthusiasts, but, you know.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we can't go hard in the paint all the time.
Right, yeah. I mean, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't kickstun everyone or my knee will hurt, you know. You gotta take a break,
He has
heal up.
those bionic knees.
Right. Well, he was the bionic redneck, so.
He was.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Because he wore 2 knee braces. I'm not sure that really qualifies as
redneck
bionic.
culture, that's robotics.
I get.
I mean, everyone thought he was like Elon Musk.
You're right. I didn't even think about that. Because I was going to say, I don't think knee braces count as robotics, but you're right. It's
In redneck culture, he's Future Man. This guy clearly stepped out of a time portal.
Oh my. Yeah, you're right.
It's like, actually, he didn't. He stepped out of a Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, really? Man, can you imagine being the
robotics? Oh, what?
I was going to say, can you imagine being the company that made the braces that he wore? Like, I'd be advertising the shit out of the fact that Stone Cold wore our braces.
Oh, yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Like the official knee brace of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, exactly. The official support of the Texas Rattlesnake.
That's right. We put the bionic in Bionic Redneck.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I would too. I'd be like, we're going nationwide with this. We're putting Steve Austin's face on everything.
It's like, because when you hear the breaking glass, it's your knee being supported.
Right.
Like, Clive, that doesn't work as a jingle.
You are fired. We've had enough of your stupid, not rhyming or even making sense jingles.
Exactly.
Fucking Clive. Yeah. So what else you been up to?
Guys, how about knee brace 316 says...
I just saved your knee.
Got you supported.
Yeah. Knee brace.
You're out.
All right, I'm writing down knee brace 316. Mainly just because it makes me laugh.
Now, just because my memory is terrible, when we recorded episode 316, was it full of Stone Cold goodness?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I was like, because if we didn't do that, we should just sign off now.
Yeah, right. No.
And I'll go sit in the middle of Fury Road.
Yeah, no, we didn't miss that opportunity.
Okay.
No, we're professionals, Tony. Come on.
I was worried for a second there.
No.
I mean, you know, when it comes to like hack number bits, we're all over.
That's right. Yeah, that's definitely one of our gimmicks. Yeah. So true. I know I was looking, kind of at our number this week because it's the 346th one, and I was like, there's just, yeah, not really much to go with that.
There's not much
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some.
Right. Which is
like,
a shame.
Jenny, I got your number 346. No.
Instead of Jenny, it would be Salty.
Yes, Salty, I got your number.
346, this doesn't work.
Yes.
Oh, man.
For a good time download. That doesn't work at all.
No, it doesn't.
Sounds like something James Hatfield would say.
Nice call
That's
forward.
Future. It's a cute future call.
Right.
Calls from the future, much like Future Man with his knees.
You mean braces? I think everybody in the future should have knees, right? Well, not everybody,
not
but
in this future.
Oh wow,
That's true.
Wow, that sounds awful.
I know, right?
Wow,
the future's a rough place.
Did they evolve past knees, or do they just everyone just lost their knees? What's going on?
Yeah, they lost their knees.
Okay,
so everyone walks around on thigh stumps.
That's wild.
I know.
You think,
right?
Given that they have knee braces, you'd think they would come up with prosthetics for the legs.
You would think.
Huh.
Just cushy pads for their thigh stumps.
Right. Oh man, Speaking of bionic stuff,
So you should definitely buy into 5 Stump Futures.
Available at every black market.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you see there was a story, I think it was from, what is it, South by Southwest, where there was a woman with a prosthetic that needs to be plugged in every few hours that, like, nobody would free up an outlet for her.
Wow. Jeez, that seems harsh.
Right? I'll see if I can find the story
Or
real
was it
quick.
appropriate because the Terminators?
Maybe that's what
I
it
mean,
was.
I can only imagine first generation Terminators need to be plugged in every once in a while.
Right. Maybe that's what it
like
was.
Teslas.
Teslas. Everything's like Tesla to you, isn't it?
No, I'm talking about the band.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's even worse.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you imagine if Tesla, the band, was the first generation of Terminators or trying to just murder us with sonically?
They did a pretty good job. I mean, hey.
Side note, Sonic Homicide, sick name for a band.
It sounds very 80s or 90s. I
It
can't
does.
decide which.
Yes.
Good point. Good point.
Like late 80s, early 90s, dabble into rap rock.
Okay.
We are Sonic Homicide.
I like it. Oh, let me mute this tab so I don't have some crazy.
We're gonna murder you with our lyrics. And then bam, it starts playing.
I like it.
Lights go down. Because, that meaningful track comes up.
Right, of course. Oh.
Because every late 80s group needs to have a ballad.
Well, yeah, of course. You gotta have something.
know.
Yeah.
Exactly. But still gotta be hard. So it's gonna be like, we're gonna murder that pussy gently.
Well, that's kind of, I mean, that you can't use that because that's kind of, Fuck You Gently by,
That's true. I
Tenacious
didn't think
D,
about that.
which is
Yeah,
one of
good-
my favorite songs ever.
Okay, good point.
So romantic.
yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. I
I
think
think
that's
tearjerker.
Yeah.
I mean, dick tears,
Yeah. Oh, of course. What else would you have meant?
of course.
Yep.
Not like real feeling tears.
Yeah. What the hell?
Tesla, took those away from me.
Yeah.
Wait, what? What's going on?
I'm trying to find that story a little bit here. Oh, this woman was
About
the prosthetic arm. Yeah, it says that she was attending a panel on disability, and she said her hand began to beep, indicating it was out of juice. Well, she said
or
batteries.
gonna explode.
Or gonna explode, exactly.
I've seen Total Recall.
Right. She was there to demonstrate her lifelike robotic hand in action. Because, I have to plug in my lifelike hands every couple hours.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I'm kidding.
Life like my ass.
Yeah.
Gonna happen in a power outage. Becomes a doorstop.
Pretty much like my arms.
Flip it upside down. It's a candy dish.
Ooh, nice. She says, I pulled my charger out of my purse to walk over to the wall outlet. Another person walked up at the same time that I did to plug in their phone, which was fine. I wasn't sure how many outlets were there, so I asked if there was room for me to charge my arm, and they said no, and directed me to the back of the room. She said that they could have thought my arm was a prop. She said,
I guess I could see that.
yeah, she said a lot of people at the music festival believed her arm was a video game fashion statement or a light up glove, so she didn't take the encounter personally. So,
Did she have enough juice in it to punch a hole through a nerve?
oh, that'd been awesome, right? No,
That's pretty shitty.
yeah. Well, she says she's not mad at anybody for doing what they did, She's like, I'm not mad at anyone for not unplugging their phone and just wanted to draw attention to the daily life of someone that has a prosthetic limb. People's phones are incredibly important to them these days, and I thought this emphasized that. Which I get, but, I mean, you're talking about your feckin' arm.
I'm super sorry, Bionic Lady, but I need some juice so I can post some awesome grams, and I cannot free up this outlet.
I'm sexing with like 4 women right now. I gotta, fucking A.
I'm trying to post some NAR snaps, and I just cannot free this up
Or dank memes.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a dank memes.
Oh, man. See, that's how I picture it went, and she's probably just an awesome person, apparently. Because I would have been like, fuck you, and unplugged their phone.
Well, she lost an arm somehow, so it clearly made her like humble and like love life and shit, I would assume.
Right.
You know, she's on the next level of Buddhism or something.
Right, yeah, she was just cool.
Meanwhile, like I said, I'd want my bionic arm to be able to shoot laser beams and burn a nerd.
Now, here's the question. If her phone ran out at the same time her arm ran out, and there's only one outlet, which does she charge?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm. Because she still has another arm, you know?
Right.
So, I mean, you can function. You can still wipe your ass or whatever, so you're good, you know?
Right.
Yep.
I would probably think she charges her phone because of how people act with their phones.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Mm-hmm. I know people do pretty much panic when their phone gets below. Well, it depends on the person. Those are some fun conversations to have with people. Like, what percentage terrifies you on your phone, basically? You know, what's the highest number or the lowest number you'll let it go?
I can tell you mine is.
What's that?
When mine hits 50, I go, oh shit. Because my battery's so garbage.
Oh, right.
That it degrades quickly. Like, I've literally looked at my phone and it's at 50 something. And I'll do a couple things on my phone, put it in my pocket, and I'll get a text on, I pull it out, and it's like in the 20s all of a sudden.
Wow, yeah.
It's like, oh shit, you know?
Right, so that makes sense. Yeah, for me, it's the 30s. Like, when it hits 30, I'm like, I need to probably charge this soon. Kind of for the same reason, but not really. You know, it's just, it seems like once the phone gets anywhere near 20%, it seems to go really fast.
Just plummets.
Yeah, so, like for me, it's usually about 30, but, yeah, it's kind of a fun game to play with people. You know, like different times you see somebody post a screenshot and they're at like 4% and not charging, and everyone's like, what the hell is wrong with you, you know?
I mean, I've definitely had my phone run pretty goddamn low before.
Mm-hmm, me too. But mine's ran out when we've been out before. So,
yeah.
Actually, that one night you and I both almost had our phones die. You were lucky enough to charge yours a little bit.
Oh, yeah, when we were at the Auto Tavern, I asked the bartender if she could plug my phone in.
Right.
Yeah, lately, because my batteries, I mean, I gotta get on the Apple Store, you know, we'll put a new battery in your phone deal for $30.
Mm-hmm.
Because mine is just the hottest of garbage anymore. It dies so quick.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, God, it's brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
I'm not ready to upgrade my phone yet. I don't want that bill in my life.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I certainly do, sir.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. No, I just, that story with that woman, just like I remember reading that she wasn't real bent out of shape or anything about it, but I was just like reading it and going, of course no one made room for her. You know, like, why would people not be piles of shit, you know?
Yeah. That is pretty shitty. I mean, although part of me gets it, because I don't know what her arm looks like, but if it has LEDs and shit and it looks cool, people might go, that's a cosplay arm.
Yeah,
fuck you. You're not charging this.
It really does, actually. There's lights, it looks like, around it that I can't see it. Well, let me see if it zooms in anywhere here. Oh, no, that's just shit from South by Southwest. So, yeah.
I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, I mean, if some young lady came up to me and was like, hey, can I please plug my arm in?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I guess I'm not a shithead.
Right.
Plus, you know, I'll be like, well, I got to make some moves on old one hand here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're hoping to get the old bionic handy. Yeah.
I've never had a robo handy.
Right, cross that off the list for sure. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Bucket list.
Right. No, also I do want to point out, she said she did find an outlet at the back of the room, so everything was fine, but it was still the idea that, you know, it's just me and that, the people observing part of me. You know, like when you see, it's one of those things that you almost feel like you would set up if you were a behavioral scientist just to see how people behave, you know, and you're just like, of course no one let her plug it in, you know.
Well, yeah, right, exactly.
Now I do wonder if it was a leg instead of an arm, if there would have been someone would have done it, because a leg seems more important to, you know, to get around with. Whereas your arm, if you don't have it, like I said, you do have another one you can grab and open and, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe they discounted it because it was just an arm. I don't know.
I'm guessing just whoever she asked originally was a real shithead.
That's probably true. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm on Facebook Live right now. And I've got 32 people watching. So I for sure cannot.
Can you imagine if you were that shithead and then later that day, whatever, you know, your Twitter blows up because, you know, you're identified essentially, because that's how it works pretty much. can you imagine, like, trying to, like, how do you defend yourself?
Yeah.
Even if you're like, look, I thought it was a cosplay thing, you know. Still,
Listen,
like...
I'm at a level of Candy Crush I've never been to, and I was on the way to beating it.
Yeah, that'll
I've
get
been
you some
working on
sympathy.
this level for a month. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell her.
Yeah.
And her light up toy hand.
Right. People.
Yeah. People suck.
So, you know, hopefully no one listening would be that type that they would be like, yeah, sure, here, plug it in. But, you know, like she said, it's a really good commentary on how people feel about their phones for sure.
She needs to have like her hand fold back and a switchblade come out of her wrist, so she just start stabbing.
That'd be pretty cool. Or just like a Assassin's Creed one, you know, just slides out like that big knife thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome.
I mean, if you're gonna get a bionic hand, you might as well get all the functions in it.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I want to have a bottle opener. I want to have a cigar lighter, butane, of course, so it doesn't impart negative flavors into my cigar.
I want the hand to keep my beer cold.
Oh, definitely, yeah, for sure.
Well, it's got to have an adjustable, you know, temperature to it, because, you know.
Oh yeah, of course. What are we, animals?
Well, because some beers, you know, you want a little warmer than the others. So.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Yeah.
A stout, you want it a little warmer so you can get all those delicious flavors.
I guess you could just use your other hand at that point, but fuck that.
Yeah, the robo hand.
Yeah.
If it's got a built-in beer chiller / warmer, whatever, I'm in.
Right. Maybe a microwave, so if I want some popcorn or something.
Exactly. Now we're talking.
It's just got this little compartment. You just dump some popcorn in. Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Yeah. Bubbles up, like, looks like a boil, but it's like Jiffy Pop.
Right. Oh. The fact that it looks like a boil probably doesn't help the cause, but...
Well, like a foil covered boil.
Oh,
foil boil.
Okay.
That's what the brand could be called. Foil boil.
Foil boil.
Like, we here at Foil Boil want to make sure you get the buttery goodness you deserve out of your bionic arm. What? Buttery goodness?
How much of their popcorn is this company selling?
Probably not much.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many of these arms exist? Yeah.
Like, Steven, we have a warehouse for these Foil Boil arms. We really need to remarket.
Yeah. You go to some discount store like Big Lots or whatever, and you just see these huge section of Foil Boil
racks.
Yeah. Huh. I guess they didn't do that well. Oh man. So how was your week?
It was an alright week. It was a little busy. Weather still sucks in our area.
Yeah.
Surprise snowstorm, like, what was that, Monday morning or some shit? I'm driving to work and it was like whiteout conditions.
That was pretty
awesome.
Watching
people sliding into each other, doing 360s down the road. Accident. Sounded like I was driving through Somalia, the amount of sirens I was hearing everywhere.
Wow. Now, did you say 360s or 316s?
Well, I mean, clearly, I hit the wrong thing.
Damn it.
Never mind, the moment's passed.
I don't know. That's kind of perfect.
I did watch a car collide into another car and do a 360 through an intersection.
Oh, that's a good time. Wow.
Oh, this is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
What a great day to be working. And then an hour later, the sun's shining. Well, this place sucks.
Yeah, it does. It really does. Oh, man. I know it's funny because, like, the more and more I look at it and think about it, I'm just like, I really should move from here. Why do I live here?
I know, right?
You know, it's like, why don't
Well, it's the seasons. I like having seasons.
Fuck.
All right,
Seasons.
good. Yeah, exactly.
You know what? I'm very much like, you remember forever ago on Bill Burr's podcast when he addressed the whole, like, when people are like, why'd you move from Boston? You know, and he was like, cause it's fucking 70 and sunny out in California every day.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like,
the environment isn't trying to kill me.
Yeah. You enjoy your 20 feet of snow.
You know how I judge the seasons? By the beer on the shelves.
Yeah.
Oh, Oktoberfest must be fall somewhere.
I like that idea. That's the goal, to find some place we can just do that. The problem is the way this country just seems to be, like, there seems to be just some catastrophic thing everywhere except kind of where we are. So I can't decide.
Or catastrophic boredom. So we have
well, yeah, there's that
gale force boredom.
Thank God for for craft beer in Michigan. Otherwise, what the hell would we do here?
Yeah, no shit. That is the redeeming quality of Michigan right there.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh man. So anyways, you were saying about your week. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, it was that snow was bizarre, and the whole week's been weird.
Mm.
Like even today, I woke up and I look outside. I'm like, oh fuck, sun's out. It's gonna be a good day. And I walk outside, and I'm pretty sure I lost a testicle to the cold.
So you're down
I
to
some roll down my pant leg.
Well, for your sake, I hope it was. I don't know. Maybe not. I was like, I hope it was the testicle, but then I was like, well, I guess maybe that's
Could have been a fear duty. I don't know.
fear duty.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it might have been that.
Yeah. It was cold this morning.
I've heard.
I'm like, it's officially spring next week.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get to spring?
No. Remember last year? We didn't get to spring until like May.
It's just the worst. I'm so sick of it.
Yeah. It is
I mean,
weird.
I don't want to turn this into, Weather Channel podcast whatever.
You
but
do though. Yeah.
Good Lord. I'm just fucking done of it, man.
Yeah. And you're not alone. I think the worst part for me is that it's not, like, if it was just cold and snowy, I think it'd be easier to deal with, Yes. But the fact that it's, like you said, you look outside, it's like, oh, it looks great outside. I'm going to wear my light coat today. And you walk outside and all of a sudden you're, Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining or whatever,
Yeah, right. You're taking on the black and guarding the wall.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? So.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah. And that's why I said, at least if you know it's going to be whatever, it's, like consistently, it's not so bad.
Right.
Yeah. It's just, we have that 2 parts of the year where it's like this, like spring and fall are pretty much like this for us. And then it's, generally winter actually is winter, but this year it wasn't. It's been just all over the place.
Yeah, it's been weird.
Yeah. I mean, we've had couple days almost at 70, and
yeah, then 2 days later it's back in the 30s
right?
and 20s.
So crazy, man.
Oh, it's the worst.
I know. Anyway, you're right. We should quit talking about weather.
Yeah, that's okay. But I did, walking through my work, I did make a fascinating discovery.
Yeah.
Because I've been bringing tea bags to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there's nowhere in my job that I could found yet that I can just get hot water.
Okay.
Like we used to have coffee pots that had the little hot water spigot, that we got rid of those because we got a coffee vending machine now.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing your picture
And
of that.
Yeah, exactly. And I have like I use a Yeti for my tea and my water. It's metal, so I can't microwave it.
Right.
So I'm like, kind of bumming. But so I went to our coffee vending machine, like, I wonder if this thing just gives out hot water, which it doesn't.
Right.
But I did notice it gives out whitener.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, instead of saying cream when you're ordering your coffee, because it's definitely coffee and then the strength of the coffee, sugar, and then whitener.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you wonder what that whitener is.
Well, I've seen the guy who services the vending machine and like refills it and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in there is powder. Even the coffee.
Right.
It's powder. So I get nothing on there. I'm like, fuck you and your weird mutant, future coffee.
Right. Coffee has knee braces. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I need my old school coffee made of, I don't know, beans and shit.
Nah. That's the past, Tony. We're in the future now.
Embrace the future.
Right. Freeze-dried crystals like, Folgers and stuff.
Yeah. But I just, when I saw whitener, that kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Yeah, because why wouldn't it?
Means it's not creamer.
Exactly.
It's just something.
Yep, exactly. It's like going to a fast food place and you see that they don't call their shakes milkshakes.
Just shakes. And you're like, oh, that's like whipped, vegetable oil or something.
Mm-hmm. That's my favorite kind of shake. Yeah.
Same way when you're like, oh, I'm going to get some of the seafood dip, and it's crab with a K.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's
how
you know
what that is.
Yeah, the K stands for quality. You know that.
That's true. That's true.
Oof. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I was completely thrown. And then I sent it out as a snap to a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I had so many people like go, I'm disappointed that says whitener, but I'm more disappointed you're drinking coffee out of it. It's like, no, you idiots.
Yeah. Like
I'm not. I just happened to notice.
Right.
For sure, I've never put a dime in that vending machine.
Right. Yeah. Oh man, whitener. Fucking
whitener.
Yeah, you're right. That's the first thing that popped into my head, though, was like, okay, well, it's not creamer then. But you'd think there'd be a better, like, whitener isn't a normal descriptor for a coffee additive, you know?
Yeah, I
don't know
if I
what
went
they
to
should use
Starbucks-
instead, but there's got to be something better, you know?
Right. Because, if I'm treating myself, because I typically just go black coffee, but if I want a little, like if I need some calories, which happens sometimes,
Yeah.
I go, hey, I'll take this dark roast, put some heavy cream in that bitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, if I went, hey, I need a dark roast, and could you put some whitener in it? They'd probably look at me like, who is this gentleman? Where did he come from? And can we call the cops?
I don't think they'd call you a gentleman.
Well, you're right. They'd say that because they're actually scared.
That's possible. Yeah. They'd be like, who's this
Yeah,
piece of shit?
I always order my Starbucks no pants on.
Of
Just
course.
saying.
Well, naturally.
As it's tradition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, before you go into any place where you have to order something, you take your
Yeah.
pants off, fold them up
take my-
nicely.
Yeah, exactly. Pants off, fold up nicely.
Mhm.
I put on one of those like wooden dong covers you see in
Sure.
like African tribes.
Mhm,
Then I
mhm.
go in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, balls out still.
Right.
But dong
Of course. Yeah.
cover. Yeah.
I'm like, hey, look, the bad stuff's covered. Like, these
Yeah,
are just
exactly.
some balls. This is no big deal.
Yeah.
It's,
Exactly.
Yeah. It's just like if my ass was hanging out, except it's in the front. No big deal.
Right. For sure. Yeah.
Mhm. I'm sure they wouldn't care at all.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
Not at all.
Man, that's terrifying, though.
I mean, it's I don't know if I know we've
It
had
could
you and I have had
it could honestly even say non-dairy additive, and it would be better.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, or non-dairy creamer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, okay, I don't know what that is, but it's clearly what makes my coffee lighter.
Sure.
Not whitener.
Even though technically it will make your coffee.
I mean, yeah, it
white.
does, yeah, exactly.
Still though. Yeah.
No, it's the once upon a time when cafe mochas were my shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I've told you this story. I don't know if it's ever come up on the podcast, but I used to get them from Tim Hortons because it was chock full of sugar. It'll fuck up your world.
Mm-hmm.
My pancreas is like on cloud 9, chasing the dragon.
Right.
But they dial up whipped cream all over that thing. It's not real whipped cream though.
Right.
Because one time I ordered one and I took it to work or whatever, and I took the lid off because it was I wanted to just chug it quickly because it was getting too cool.
Mm-hmm.
And it just had an oil slick on top. And it's like, God, that whipped cream is like just whipped oil.
So it's basically like they use Cool Whip or something, kind of a thing.
Basically, yeah.
Where it's all like hydrogenated oil and whatnot.
Yeah, it's fake whipped cream.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay, so I just Googled coffee whitener just to see what would come up. And the first thing that comes up is the non-dairy creamer entry from Wikipedia. And it says non-dairy creamers or coffee whiteners are liquid or granular substances intended to substitute for milk or cream as an additive to coffee, tea, hot chocolate, other beverages. They do not contain lactose and therefore are commonly described as not being dairy products. That's wild though. Why would you there's actually, like in the pictures of stuff, there's actually a thing. I think this is for other countries. I think that's not so much of a common term here. But there's, what the hell where's that from? Yeah, it's like if you click like in the, what do you call it? The images, there's quite a few products that say coffee whitener on them. So,
Weird.
yeah. And it looks like, okay, so some of them are from, it says Woolworths, which doesn't exist here anymore, I think. It says, AU, so that's Australia, right?
Oi.
Yeah. So apparently that's where I'll have to ask the Australian folks I talk with about this. Cause, like to us, it probably just seems weird, but I'm looking for a place that looks like is a brand that I know,
Right.
but I don't see one. They all look like weird brand names to me, which means they're probably from other countries.
Take 2 sugars in my coffee
Yeah.
and 3 whiteners.
Yeah, it's so weird. What a weird name.
Or as we call coffee, or as we call it in my country, kookaburra juice.
I don't think that's what they call it.
Probably do.
No? It's so weird. Yeah, because there's even this product that says sweetened condensed whitener, and it shows it like that you'd use it in cakes and stuff. I'm assuming that would be like condensed milk, but a non-dairy version.
I guess.
Weird. All right.
It's going to be our acapella group, right? Sweet and Condensed Whitener.
I like this. I like
Just
this a
you and
lot.
I doing acapella jams.
Mm-hmm. This is a good call.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah, that really is what it, so that's what it is. It's exactly what we, assumed it was. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking, is that it's not a term so much used here.
Weird.
Yeah.
So you're saying my works vending machine is from like Ethiopia or something?
That's the weird part, is that if this isn't a typical American thing, why does your work machine in Michigan?
It was cheap, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that's probably what it was. It was bought from.
Send them that one from, Romania or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Gross. It just says in 1958, the Carnation Company developed a product that easily dissolved in hot liquid because it replaced most of the milk fat with vegetable oil and reduced the milk protein. Well.
When I first started drinking coffee, I would go hard on a non-dairy creamer, but that's what they offered me where I worked.
Mm. Yeah, I'd always
drink black coffee at the time.
Right.
So.
The few times I have had coffee in my life, I couldn't drink black coffee either at the time, and I would drink, or I would use creamer. Now, honestly, I would probably use soy milk, but whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there was something that kind of points out. Yeah, it doesn't. It looks like most of this is just about the non-dairy creamer part, not the coffee whitener. So, anyway.
That just is weird to me.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever, Trevor.
Look at us trying to learn things or something.
Right. So, are you, Brian, familiar with the term vajazzling?
I am Brian, and I am familiar with that term.
Okay. So I was pointed the direction of something called bling balls.
Now, did this happen to come from your conversation about vajazzling an eye patch the other day?
What the hell? I know we talked about that, but where was that?
That was at trivia.
Oh, that was at trivia.
Yeah.
No, that was actually a separate vajazzling conversation.
That's very interesting that you've had two vajazzling conversations.
I know, right?
Okay.
Well, it's because I'm part of a little kit group, the Toledo kit group, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty much a dead group anymore.
Right.
But the guy who runs it brought in somebody new and like, hey, everybody, this is my friend. She's blah, blah, blah. And anytime someone new's in the party, it usually kicks off some conversation.
Sure, yeah.
And somehow, I can't remember. Oh, she was talking about how she was doing some sort of coloring book and there was gems that you glue on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, like vajazzling. And it all went into, a vajazzling conversation.
Right, of course.
Yes, of course. But it's on Bandcamp. It's a song called Bling Balls by the Bass Turd.
Okay.
And, I'm not going to play it here.
Right.
It's not our thing, but
Sure.
I'm definitely going to provide a link to it. But it's a song about vajazzling your balls, basically. And if you want to see a outrageous looking cartoon dick, that's the logo for their album.
Oh, well, fun.
Because I've just had a cartoon dick in my iPhone notes for the past week now.
Huh.
Always exciting, when I'm like, I need to see an animated dong. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, at least you had it at the ready this time. You didn't have to go Google one or something.
I know, right?
Or search your photos.
Hold on to my
Yeah.
private direction. Yeah, exactly. I should have set up an album. Dongs.
Right. That would be really funny to do instead of just having like your general photo album. Just have it and call it Dong. So if someone does get your phone, they might be like, maybe I
It's
don't.
all pictures of Asian gentlemen with the last name of Dong.
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, this is Phil Dong.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is Harry
Which
Dong.
would be a
right?
great name, by the way.
Phil Dong. Yeah.
Phil Dong.
Oh, man. Good times.
I don't know.
Mm.
Yeah. It was some.
Yeah. All right.
I also got ditched at a science fair this week, which we talk a little bit about on our Future Enthusiast.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, it was a weird week because the first half of the week, my wife was working nights.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously she wasn't home.
Right.
So Thursday she did not. So it was like it was the first night that week that we actually like fell asleep together. It was quite nice. And I get up in the morning, I get the kids roused, blah blah blah. Go back to bed because I'm like, if I can, go get some snuggles on, I'm going to get my snuggle on.
Right.
And I heard this weak tapping at the door, like her hand was barely charged, kind of tapping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And
I just ignored it. And so when I got up to get ready for work, there's just a note sitting in the middle of our kitchen island. Hey, Dad, can we please go to the science fair tonight? It's from 6 to 7. Leah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, whatever. That must have been who was scratching at the door like some sort of invalid.
Right.
Yeah. So get home from work. We're going to science fair, and she got all dolled up. Like dressed with, like shoulders out. It was a whole thing. I was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
As soon as we walked into her school, ditch, Dad.
Right.
See ya. I'm off hanging with my friends. She had zero interest in the science fair.
Mm.
And I was trying to be like, I'm like, let her do her thing. But I was also trying to observe because, that guy.
Right.
And I can't tell if she just wanted to hang out for friends or there's some little like creepy little kid over there too. And I'm like, is that why she's all? It's hard to tell.
Now, what you should have done, you should have just went over there like gangbusters and just grabbed any of the guys that were there and slam them against the wall and be like, "What's your intentions with my daughter?"
Yeah, exactly. Listen up, fucker.
Yeah, I will end you.
I haven't been to prison. I will go.
Yeah. You have a nice day. You straighten his shirt out, dust his shoulders off, So how did it feel to get ditched? Is that the first time that's happened?
Yeah. And normally, cause the days after, Jeannie works nights are usually it's a lot of her adjusting back to not, being awake during the day. So she was kind of like, and I was just like, I'll just go. You stay here.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go. It's fine. So when I got ditched, it was literally just me. And I'm looking around like, I don't want to talk to any of these fucking parents,
Right.
I really don't.
Right.
So we didn't stay long at the science fair. I think I gave her 20, 25 minutes, and I'm like, we got to get the fuck out of here.
Right, yeah.
But on the bright side, I did see the best science little fair project I've ever seen. It was just simply titled, I'm a pyromaniac.
That was great.
Yes. And the kid was just burning cardboard boxes with different accelerants.
Right.
That was his whole experiment, his whole science thing.
I want to talk to that kid's parents because, I want to know if they knew that was going on, because if so, I have a second set of questions for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. The funny part to me is that they were okay with with that being presented,
With I'm a pyromaniac.
Yeah.
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 That was fascinating.
I just feel like that kid's going to get called to the guidance counselor's office on Monday,
Right.
So, what's going on, buddy? How's life at home?
Hey there, pal.
Hey, champ. Yeah.
Okay, let me check your pocket for matches. Okay,
Right.
Good.
He's got a fucking fire extinguisher on his desk, just in case.
Right.
Follows him around school with it.
Wearing Nomex.
Yeah. Yes. Why are you following me? No
reason.
Yeah. That was strong though. That's easily the best science fair thing I've ever seen. I agree.
Oh
with
yeah,
you.
it was excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went a couple laps through the thing, looking at people's displays. I'm like, this kid's got the best one.
Right.
Must document.
Right. Too bad you didn't have a blue ribbon or something with you to pin on there.
Right.
I mean, a Pabst, not an actual blue ribbon.
Oh yeah, for sure. But kid, you deserved it.
Just hand him a PBR.
Hand him a beer.
If someone complains, be like, well, clearly he's already got questionable parenting.
Yeah, exactly. I'm probably helping.
He's probably had one of these before.
Yeah, I'm actually settling him down right now.
Right.
But
oh man.
I also determined that I love my daughter, but I can't spend when she gets around her friends. Something happens,
Mm-hmm.
and something it's dialed up to a level that I'm just not a fan of.
Right.
You know, which is a real problem because tomorrow I'm apparently running a D&D campaign for her and her friends.
That should be fun.
That Logan was supposed to run, but he's working now.
Oh, convenient.
And yeah, I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she asked me, she's like, "So, do you think you can?" And because this week I was supposed to like finish fixing my Jeep.
Yeah.
I got all my parts and I've been working now. And I'm like, "No," I just told her flat out, "No, I can't."
Yeah.
And then Logan's like, "Well, Dad, I already got all the characters made. I got the adventure. I'll just email it." All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's. I'll see how much. I mean, I said 20-25 minutes, and I was ready to run the fuck out of school. So
Right.
I can't wait to see what tomorrow's going to bring.
20-25 minutes, you're sympathizing with the pyromaniac.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm planning shit with.
Yeah,
him,
you're like, I got you, kid. I understand.
Like, oh boy, yeah. Like fire's amazing, right?
Yeah. Like,
Burn it all right, buddy?
Like, you want to go on a milk run? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And by milk, I mean at a gas station.
Yeah. For 40 ounces. Or
And
tall
Excel.
boys, whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Tomorrow should be interesting. I'm sure, stay tuned for Salty Language next week to hear about my DMing fucking young preteen girls.
Wow.
Ugh.
That's, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's going to be something.
And that was the other thing that happened this week. I didn't even add this in my notes. God damn it, Brian. Once again, having a teen daughter,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, and her and I were, doing what we always do, just fucking horsing around and shit. And I went, rah, and I grabbed her and like full boob grab.
Oh, yeah. Well, like,
I thought my hand met with the pyro kid,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
And it was immediate awkward. She had as far as I know, she didn't even realize,
Yeah.
me feeling awkward as fuck.
For sure. Yeah.
'Cause
Right.
I'm just so used to like bear hugging her
Yeah.
as my daughter.
Right.
And now she's becoming like a young lady.
Right. Right.
Oh.
I remember when you went through that. So, yeah. No. Your bosoms were finally developing.
I know, right? I was getting buds.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, you kind of figure it was probably bound to happen at some point,
Don't reproduce.
Yeah. You know what? I can get on board with that because there's already enough people and, the estimates for food versus people in like 50 years is terrifying. So we should probably stop making people for a while.
Or start eating people.
Or start eating people. Yeah.
Just saying.
As terrifying as that is. Anyway. They're
How
delicious.
many meat pies we can crank out with this population?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Let's not talk about this on the show, though. It's still illegal. Because of all those
Yeah, good
prudes
point.
out there.
Prudes.
Yeah.
Goddamn prudes.
Yep.
That and, I'm just kind of blowing through. my
Real
week,
quick,
especially
so are you done, are you done with the wrestling with her then?
Oh, as much as I can.
Yeah.
And she shoulder checked me today and it was hilarious.
Right.
Because she went to hug me and I went to hug her.
Yeah.
And then it like juked her. You're like, fuck that. I'm not hugging you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
She just shoulder plowed me. I wasn't expecting it. It
Nice.
was actually really funny.
Crushed you against the boards to let you know she was there. That's fair. Yeah.
Basically.
Nice.
But she's had a festive week. She got her braces in this week, so her face has been all in pain.
Terrible. Yeah.
But she recently joined a volleyball club, right?
Mm-hmm.
And last week they're like, "Hey, we know she's only practiced with the team twice, but we're at a tournament, and some of our girls are sick, and some of them are on vacation. So anyway, you guys can show up for it." Like, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I had to be there at 7 a.m.
Sweet Christmas. No.
7 a.m. You know what time I left?
No.
It was probably almost 3.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long feckin' day. Whew.
It was a long ass day.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I kind of felt bad for her because since she's so new, they would let her in and for like one serve and then pull her out.
Yeah.
Because she hasn't played with the team, which I get.
Yeah.
But it was basically like I asked her, I'm like, "Oh, how's your thing?" She's like, "Yeah, it was okay," but it was, a lot of just standing.
Right.
Which at the amount of time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Oof.
Brutal.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as we're leaving, the coach is like, oh, I don't think we're going to need you next Sunday, but we'll let you know. And I'm like, we're like, because, Jeannie came because she worked and she came in, about halfway through the event.
Yeah.
And, you're like, well, what do you mean? Like, what? And she's like, well, it's another tournament and it's in Norwalk, which is like an hour and a half drive from here.
Right.
And it's like, well, fuck, if I want to know, hopefully before, I don't want to have to wake up at like 5 a.m. and drive to Norwalk.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then hang out for 6-7 hours.
Right. Yeah. Oof.
Oh man, it was a little. I mean, I'm glad she's having a good time with her new team and shit, but I was not expecting.
Yeah.
That.
Now, did you have to stay because there were multiple games, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, I mean, they play. It was a what they call it, like the Glass City Classic or something. So everyone, it's like a round robin situation or whatever.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Man.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
Oh, dude, it was Although I'll be more prepared next time because people are bringing their own chairs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I just sat up bleachers and I wanted to go climb up to the top of the building, do a sailor dive.
That'd have been an interesting break in the action.
Right?
Whose dad is that? Leah's like, I don't know. What a crazy man he is.
Yeah, oh boy. Yeah, I'm not related to him at all.
Jump! Wow, all right. One tear rolls down your face.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'll be trying to figure out tomorrow because she's got practice tomorrow morning. And it's a good half-hour drive from her house. So I'm like, I don't want her and the practice is closed to parents. They want you to drop the kid off and then leave, basically.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, well, do I drop her off and then drive home and then hang out at my house for 40 minutes and drive back? Or do I find something to do in that area? Probably going to find something to do.
Yeah, that seems like probably the right move.
Yeah. And then my first thought was, I'll just go find some little shit barn hangout in St. Patty's Day. That ain't happening.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Not doing that.
No, because they'll be busy from minute 1 tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure what I'll be doing tomorrow,
right.
But I'll figure it out.
Oof. So speaking of St. Patty's, you doing anything fun? I know normally in the past we've talked about how we generally avoid stuff on St. Patrick's Day because it's generally one of the amateur nights,
Yeah. For what we weren't going to do anything, but Ashley from Trivia, she's having some sort of thing, and she, invited Jeannie because Jeannie's working tomorrow during the day.
Right.
So after work, Jeannie's going to go, and I'm going to go. It's probably about the time Jeannie would get off because I don't want to just be there by my lonesome, all weird like.
Sure you do.
Just go have a couple beers and some Jigs dinner and come home, I imagine.
Fair enough.
I mean, no, nothing really planned. I just going out on St. Patty's Day is fun, but it's just not my thing anymore.
Yeah. It's never been my gimmick. I've done it once or twice, and it just was like, nah. Like, we can go out anytime we want and drink. We'll just stay home from this one because it's, it really is. I think we've talked about this before on here. It's just really, because the goal is everybody to go out and just get shit-faced, Right. And unfortunately, that means a bunch of those shitheads are going to be on the road,
Yes.
And that's the scarier part. The dealing with them in the bars is one thing, but it's worse, because you're like, you don't want to be on the road with some of these people.
Like, I would be more inclined to do like that Toledo Soccer Association. They do a pub crawl every year.
Mm-hmm.
With the shuttle buses just running around the bars.
Yeah.
I'd be more inclined to do that, but I'd still have to get away home.
Yeah.
Yep. But I wouldn't want to, it's too nonsensical.
It is, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I like nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a point where it's just like, nah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, on any given Saturday night, we can go find nonsense at a bar. It's not like it's an exclusive, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh man, this is the only time of the year this is going to happen. We can just go, be stupid whenever we want. So I think, especially as you get older, it's just kind of, I don't know, to me it loses power, I guess. It's just like, whatever. It's like, honestly, we could have went out tonight and done the exact same thing,
Yes.
Although, don't get me wrong, this whole weekend generally is a shit show, but
Yeah, it's a whole, especially with St. Patty's Day on a Saturday.
Exactly. So it's just, but whatever. Yeah.
I mean, the only benefit you get is generally, like, the women dress up a little hotter. Yeah. Like, I'm a sexy leprechaun. Like,
Right.
oh, that's fun.
There's all sorts of shamrock jokes to make. Yeah.
Shamrock jokes to be made.
Right.
Hey, kiss me shillelagh and stuff.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Blow me, I'm Irish t-shirts. Exactly.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't know. Yeah.
I'm with you.
I've had too much, shenanigans in the past going on where it's just like, oh, I just woke up in a booth. Why am I in this booth?
And that wasn't even St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Is like we can just go be stupid whenever we want to because we don't, we don't
Plus,
have
green beer is terrible.
Oh, there's that too.
It's
Fuck
just
that.
like dyed Budweiser or whatever.
Yeah.
But fuck that.
Fuck that noise. I've never had it. I never will unless I'm somewhere and the beer is just so cheap I can't say no.
Yeah.
Like if you walked in and they were like, "Hey, quarter green beers," I'd be like, "Fucking line them up."
I guess I'm shitting green tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Although, Brian, I actually have kind of a follow up too.
Okay.
You remember when we were talking about glitter beer?
Mm-hmm.
Well, our local brewery, the Black Oyster, and former enthusiast guest Shannon, the brewmaster over there,
Right.
she, in her Rose of Shannon red ale they put out,
Yeah.
added green glitter to it for St. Patty's
Oh,
Day.
did she? All right.
Yes.
Well, there we go, I guess. Yep.
Yeah, so they have, red and green glittery beer for St. Patty's Day.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, right.
That's all right. I mean,
Although the Rose of Shannon, that is a good
it's a good beer.
so.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. At least it's not, at least these things they're adding, at least it's not something that like severely alters the beer in some way, like the taste or whatever,
Right.
I'm assuming it probably has zero or very little taste. So
I would assume so too. I think it's just a more of a visual type situation.
right.
Yeah.
Damn it. Yeah, I saw some pictures on Twitter today of people already out, drinking green beer and stuff, and I'm just like, why are you drinking that? It's like, and then I was like, you know what? You know why they're drinking it? Because honestly, they're probably drinking it because either the bar they're at they don't have any other choices because they're limited on tap selection. Like they have like Bud Light, and whatever, or like and everything is green basically, kind of a concept, And it's like, or it's so cheap they just can't say no.
Yeah, they just want to get plowed, basically.
Right. Because I have seen, in the past, I've seen bars run like 50-cent green beers, and obviously they're real small cups, but whatever.
Well, I mean, and eventually you hit a point where it doesn't matter. Because I know the last time I went up for St. Patty's, I actually went with your nephew, Show.
Mm-hmm.
This is how long ago it was, because it was his ex.
Right.
And we all went out, and I was like, Guinness, 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 and then it's like, this shit's adding up.
Yeah.
I could spend I don't even know how much I was buying, like, let's say $4 or $5 a pint.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can spend $1 or something for a pint of green beer.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll be doing this now.
I understand, because I do that. Again, that's the kind of the point of why when we go to shows or whatever, that I generally just drink whatever the cheap beer is, PBR or whatever it is. Yeah. It's like the, $1 a can or $2 for, a bottle or whatever. Because it's just like, look, I'm drinking. I kind of want to catch a buzz. I don't want to spend $60.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that craft beer takes $60 to get me buzz, because it's generally, if I'm just looking to get a buzz from craft beer, I'll order whatever the highest octane is, pretty much, and
Right. Like, put me on Mars, please.
Yeah, but I don't want to have that full feeling from a lot of those at a at a show. So yeah, I get it. I just don't want anything to do with it. But like I said, exactly. If the price is right, I'll be down with them.
It's the same with going out. I mean, if the situation's right, I'd go out.
Yeah, I probably would too, even though I don't really want to. If things were, like honestly, if you guys were like, hey, we're going to the Cloister, you want to go with, or whatever, I'd probably be like, all right, let's do it, even though I know it's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is totally amateur hour.
Yeah. Yep. One of the, 3? Because that, Cinco de Mayo and New Year's Eve.
You know, I've never gone out for Cinco de Mayo.
I haven't either.
Yeah.
It's just another woo day, though. You know, like one of those days where you know the whole point people are going out because it's like, I have to go get drunk today. It's like, do you? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. You enjoy your one day to get drunk. I'm gonna go get drunk all the time if I want.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a pro. I train every day.
Anyway, so what else you got this week?
That's really about it that I
Yeah.
think I'm remembering right now.
Yeah, I don't have a ton this week either, but this past Saturday, I mentioned it a little bit last week, but my grandma turned 100, so we had a party for her at her church, and that was, it was a little odd because, it's a lot of her church friends, and I kind of know who some of them are, but most of them I don't have a clue who they are, and most of them have no idea who I am. But I got to see some family I haven't seen in a long time. Which is nice because, they're getting up there. So it's,
right.
You never know. So, that was pretty cool. They had a huge spread for her, like food wise. They had
Nice.
those, white tables we had at the shop that were, what were those, 6-foot tables roughly?
8 foot.
8 foot. Yeah. They had like 4 of those that were pretty much filled with food. And
Damn.
yeah, I mean, they had a lot of stuff there too. I mean, it was tight too. It wasn't like just, casual. I mean, stuff was kind of pushed against each other and almost falling off the edge on a couple of them. They put out a lot. So, and that was just all from like potluck, basically. That wasn't, as far as I know, it wasn't like, catered by anybody. I think it was just women from the church did it, basically. Or I should say people. I don't know if it's women, but
6 foot party sub?
yeah. That's all it was. Just a 6-foot party sub.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool though, except it was weird. I woke up that day with really bad back pain in my lower back. And by the time we got there, the pain was up into like the middle of my back. And it was very reminiscent of when I had the pain, that turned out to be kidney stones.
Oh, that's not exciting at
And
all.
I'm like, oh man, cause they told me then, it's, generally if you get them once, you obviously have potential to get them again, so.
Right.
I'm like, man, and not today. It's like, hold off a day at least. Let me, be able to spend the day here and whatever.
Are you trying to brew up a batch of muscle piss?
I am. Well, the last reserve's getting low, so.
That's true.
I gotta age some in bourbon barrels.
Bourbon barrel aged muscle piss.
Well, that's the thing, so. Yeah, it turned out like by the time we left, it had eased up some, and later on, it had eased up quite a bit. So I don't think that's what it was. I think it was just every once in a while I get back spasms, like in my lower back, and I honestly think that's what it was. I think I was just getting really bad ones because I couldn't. There was nowhere to like lie down for a little bit because that's usually what I do is get pretty flat. And then I'm usually
knock
okay.
all the food off on a table and lie down on the table.
And just pull the food on me.
Yeah, like you're one of those sushi broads.
Yeah. But yeah, cause once I got home, I got in, laid in bed. I was just really flat on the bed and, I started feeling better pretty quick. Also, I, took something for the pain. So, but it was just weird cause like I said, I was scared, my mom's sitting there and she's like, you want me to take you to the hospital? And I'm like, no, cause I don't want to go to the hospital.
Right.
But, yeah, so that's a good time. I recommend it.
We did a beer stube.
Yeah.
I needed Freshie.
I need some medicine. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's, look, and then the next day I woke up, it just wasn't bothering me at all. So again, that kind of made me feel more like it was just, just spasms that got out of hand. So.
You just should have called me. I'll come over and kidney punch you like 14 times.
Damn it. I didn't even think of that.
All right.
Next time. Hey, Tony, what's up? I'm going to need you to come over here and kidney punch me a few times. Like
I'm walking her back like I'm a tiny Asian lady.
Right. No, you'd have been like, sorry, I'm still at this volleyball thing.
Yep, that's accurate.
Well, cause we were there from 1 to about 4. So yeah, the timeline kind of overlaps.
Oh yeah, that was the fig too last weekend. They catch up to me. Fantasticon was in town. We missed out on it this year, which is kind of a bummer, but a lot of our former enthusiast guests were in attendance.
True enough. Yeah.
TV's Greg Wright, Casey Pierce was there.
Mm-hmm. Was
I
Travis
say
there?
Greg Wright. What?
Was Travis there?
Travis was there, yeah. God, I can't remember his name now. Abnormal is his Twitter handle.
Oh, David Hayes. Yeah.
David Hayes. I was like, I kept thinking David Lynch. I'm like, that's not him.
Like, I don't remember us having David Lynch
I could
on.
see his face, and I knew it was David, but I couldn't get the last name.
Yeah. Funny.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer because I was seeing some of their posts on Instagram and Snapchat and whatnot.
Oh, especially because I saw the ones where they went to eat and have some drinks afterward. I was like, oh.
Yeah. They were at Carlos Poco Loco.
Which is right next door to the Ottawa Tavern if you've been listening to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, because that would have been a good time, I'm sure. So.
Yeah, but next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
Maybe. We'll see. It's all right. No, yeah. It did kind of suck. I was really hoping that would work out, but like you said, next time.
It is what it is, right?
Shit happens. Yep.
And truth be told, I don't think we were super prepared anyway.
No.
Because I think it was a week of, and I was like, oh shit, Brian Fantasticon's coming.
And I was like, oh yeah, it is. Whoops-a-daisy. Yeah. Oh, man.
Salty language. Land of the unprepared.
Clearly.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wait till they listen to the Daft Pod episode. And when I talk about my incredibly detailed notes for that show, they're going to be blown away.
It's true.
Blown away.
Pages.
Mm-hmm.
Pages of notes.
Exactly.
I was pretty sure you were trying to start a Wikipedia or some shit.
No, that'd have been pretty cool, but no. Yeah, I'm gonna start one for them.
Yeah, their it's just the interview of us. It's the Wikipedia.
Right, yeah. Both of them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Wikipedia will allow me to make a salty language entry?
I don't know. Probably not, but I don't know. I mean, you could try it.
I mean,
worst case scenario, they take it down,
Yes. See, you remember once upon a time when I, put the David Robinson thing on there for our...
Dennis Rodman.
You're right.
Yep.
Not the Admiral, the fucking...
The Worm.
The Worm, there you go.
Yep.
For our former third micer, Tate, and it was on there for about 5 minutes, and then some asshole from Wikipedia was like, this is bullshit, and deleted it.
Yeah. Jerks. They should have checked with us first. Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, what can you do?
Yeah. Not rely on Wikipedia.
Yeah. So I mentioned this to everyone when we were doing the enthusiast a little bit. But last week I told you I was listening to Science Versus, the podcast. Yeah. So totally caught up on that. Finally started digging into hardcore history. Got almost an episode and a half out of the way of the 12 I was behind. So
so much content.
I know. And that's the thing is each one of these shows is roughly 3 or more hours, I think. Yes. So this is going to take a while, but it's good stuff though. Cause right now I'm in the, Blueprint for Armageddon group.
Nice.
I'm in the second episode of that.
Armageddon, Brian.
Oh no. You are a bad man. But while I was listening to that Science Versus, it's on Gimlet Media, which there's a couple of their podcasts that I've listened to. And for one of the weeks, they when they were off, they put in, they'll drop an episode of some other podcast on there, so you get a little taste of what else the network has, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they put one on there for a podcast called The Nod, which is a black culture podcast. And the episode that they dropped was about Grape Drink. And it was...
Drink or drank?
Well, drink, because, whatever. But, it was a really interesting, listen, because they actually break down how, what it is about grape drink, that flavor that's not real grape, but, it's what draws people to the grape drink.
Yeah.
They talk about how that kind of came to be and whatnot, and I love it. The one guy said that it was kind of inspired by that Chappelle bit when where he talks about grape drink. When somebody says, do you want juice? And, grape juice or whatever. And he's like, juice? He's like, no, I want drink.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then he talks about how during the Sunny D commercial, he's like, watch the little black kid. He's like, oh, I want to get some of that purple stuff. Anyway, but it was a really neat look at it. And also kind of like that where it was more popular was where, there was more black culture, and that as it's grown in popularity, it's probably because black people have moved throughout the country and taken it with them, essentially.
Oh.
Because like the one guy said,
grape drink.
yeah, he said he lived in, I forgot where, and then he moved to Michigan, and he's like, and I still loved it. And I'm like, well, of course you did, because Faygo and,
Faygo grape's pretty legit.
yeah, and, that's in this area for sure, type of thing. So, yeah, it was kind of cool, because I am also an appreciator of the grape drink. Like, I used to get grape Faygo a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I don't know why, but that was the one I always liked. So so I had an interest in it for that reason too. Cause when they were like, we're going to talk about the science of why. And I was like, ooh.
Now, how many lines of codeine you put in your grape?
Well, we're not going to talk about that on here.
Okay.
No.
Your purple drink.
No, you know what's interesting? They didn't get in, well, because that's not really the purple drink they're talking about. So they're talking about like those little hugs. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, looks like a little barrel.
Yeah, which they used a term I had never heard for it. They're called, I think it was like quarter waters is what they were called.
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
either.
I haven't either, but they both knew what it was, and someone else they interviewed or something used the term. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I knew them as little hugs.
Apparently.
Yeah. But
looks like a little grenade of deliciousness.
it does, yeah. It had a little foil top on it. Yeah.
Yep.
So, it was, like I said, it was kind of an interesting listen. It's only like 40 minutes or less, so it's a pretty quick listen too. So I'll have the link in the show notes if anyone wants to have a listen to it. So
Fair enough.
if you're a grape drink appreciator like I am,
I prefer aficionado.
that's fine. You know what's funny? Can't stand grape juice. Don't like it. But grape drink,
Grape drink
all day.
you're all over,
yeah. Just give me that gallon jug of grape drink.
right?
Because they do. They have orange, they have fruit punch, and grape. Or
Yes.
purple, as it's referred to by a lot of people.
Purple drink.
Which always made me laugh, because, us white people generally be like, you mean grape? And like, no, purple.
Yeah. Right. This tastes like blue.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, they have blue now too. I forgot they did add.
Yeah.
Yeah. The funniest part to me is like orange makes sense because, the color orange and
An orange.
the fruit is the same thing, whereas grapes are, well, they're a variety of colors, but, in that kind of realm, it's generally thought of as purple, but to just refer to it as purple, or blue is to just refer to it as blue, it's like,
Right.
shouldn't we identify it with something, like fruit punch? No. You go, well, okay, that could have a variety of fruits. It doesn't, but it could. And
Yeah, exactly.
so, yeah.
They just have purple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, it could be blackberry.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No. But the guy even mentioned, that like, he mentioned that even when he would get Gatorade, he always would go to the grape Gatorade,
Yeah, it's
And I was like, yeah, I drink that a lot too. I really like the grape. So, makes sense.
something about the purple, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Because purple's the color of royalty.
Well, like I said, it's, they cover it in the podcast, but I'm not going to tell you about it.
Ooh, no spoilers.
Nope, go listen to it. It was a good episode.
Salty language program.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what else? I was going to go over. Have you watched anything this week? Listened to anything new? Whatever.
I haven't listened to it. No, I mean, we've kind of watched some stuff, but nothing remarkable enough for it to stand out.
All right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like we started watching Sneaky Pete season 2. That's pretty good.
I haven't. Yeah, I need to start that series. I haven't even watched season 1. So.
It's terrific, but I mean, yeah, nothing I can think of off the top of my head.
I mean, they're releasing that like once a week, right? Like the whole season's not available, right?
I don't know, because from what we're on like episode 3, and so far they're all been available. I haven't looked forward to be like, oh shit, these cunts are releasing all of them. How dare they?
Well, because I know like Hulu and Netflix have done that on a few shows, but they don't do it too much, you know? Like The Handmaid's Tale was, you know, they laid it all out there.
I prefer when they just drop it all.
Me too, because I generally will binge, yeah.
Yeah.
So, alright, what did I finished up, the series of, it's a show called Episodes. I think I've told you about it before.
I think so. Sounds familiar.
Where it's like 2 English writers, basically their show gets picked up, much like The Office did over here, you know? Mm-hmm. So they're gonna make their show that was really popular over in England, or, over here. And, they had somebody that they really love in the lead role, but it ends up getting recast as, oh my God, I can't think of his name, Matt LeBlanc.
Oh, okay.
So, and they're not big fans of this, and basically the whole series is just the 3 of them kind of have a really dysfunctional situation. But anyway, I had watched the first 4 seasons of it, and I saw they had the 5th season in Netflix, and that's the series finale. So I finished that up. Right. So, and I liked it. The finale I thought was actually really well done for the show. So, because I was wondering as they were going through the final season, I'm like, where's this gonna wrap, or where, you know, like, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if it's a season where they didn't know it was the end of the series.
Right.
You know, to where it just ends and you're like, oh.
They're like, oh crap, now we gotta wrap up all these loose ends.
Yeah.
In like 2 episodes.
Yeah. Which I hate. I wish that at least if they're going to cancel a show like that, it's like, let them do at least 1 episode where they can fucking wrap it up.
Yeah. Let them redeem themselves somehow, you know?
Yeah. But I also understand why, you know, if you're like, wow, this gets no ratings, we're not going to give any more money to it.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you guys are clearly shitting the bed. Mm-hmm. Why should we keep throwing money in your face?
Yeah. But
because I'm Joey, man.
It's funny though, because Matt LeBlanc plays like a real piece of shit through the whole thing. So
wouldn't that be funny if that's what he actually was?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just a pile of garbage.
Yeah. And then last night or couple nights ago, I started watching it, your wife's, suggestion, you know, Jeannie from Hobie.
Naturally.
She suggested that I watch The Good Place. And, right. I powered through the first season of that last night. So, cause the first season's on Netflix, the second season's on Hulu. So.
That doesn't even make sense.
No. So.
What a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, so I'm gonna probably go into season 2 of it because I don't know how long it'll be in Hulu. Cause sometimes shows are in there forever. Sometimes they're in there for a short time and then they're gone, you know? Mm. And then they don't show back up. So, you know. So, yeah.
Assholes.
I dug the show though. It's, you know, it's got some good stuff in it. I really liked it.
Right.
And I also like half-hour episodes because you can blow through them.
Just power through them bitches.
Yeah. It took me 2 days and I went through, the 13 episodes. So it's, you know.
All the smash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it for me. I actually think I might, before I get into season 2, I think I might go watch the Defiant Ones on HBO. It's the one where it talks about, what was it? Like Dr. Dre and
whatnot. Yeah.
Right. Cause that looks, or I've been told it's a very good docuseries. But, speaking of, I think it's later in April. Did you see, have you seen the previews for HBO's doing a documentary on Andre the Giant?
No, but I'm wearing his shirt right now.
Are you? Convenient.
Well, you can't see because of hoodie, but yeah.
Brute Squad one, right?
Brute Squad.
Yeah.
No, I did not see that, but that's awesome. I definitely want to watch that.
Yeah, they've been running commercials during Raw, which makes sense, you know?
It does make sense.
It looks, I can't wait to watch it because it looks like they're going to focus a lot on the Andre that nobody knew kind of a thing, you know, that he was sad, he was hurt a lot of the time he wrestled. Like a lot of people don't probably realize how hurt he was, especially later in his career, you know, to where he could barely walk to the ring and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, hence the WrestleMania mobile rings.
Exactly.
Which looked real dumb.
Mm-hmm. They were great in the video game, though. Do you remember that game where they used them?
Oh, my God. Yes, I do remember that. I can't remember if you used to be able to use them as weaponry or bounce people.
I don't think so. I think once you were out of them, they were gone. But yeah, I think it's around like the 20th or somewhere in that range on HBO. So that should be pretty awesome. But,
the old, yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that's what I got.
All right.
Want to do some?
I feel like I'm dying, Brian.
You probably are. So let's get the Q of the W out of the way before you die.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Otherwise, I got to come up with one myself.
Oh, man, it's
Terrible
a long
idea
night.
that is.
All right. Well, kids and kidettes, whatever you want to call your peoples.
Sure.
Yeah, we asked y'all last week, is cereal soup?
Yeah.
I think we had a lot of controversy on this shit.
Yeah. The stuff I saw was pretty one-sided for the most part, but yeah, there is.
So just recently, our buddy Nate Diggity even, I'm sorry, Nate Dogg.
Right.
Yeah. He said, and then there's this, and it's a link.
Mm-hmm.
Says it also presents that cereal can be classified as a salad.
How the hell can it be? What?
Would that make the milk a dressing?
It has to, right?
I guess I'll open the link. I'll get to that after we do the Q&A.
Okay, because yeah, I was going to say I need to hear this because I don't see how.
Right. So let's see here. Michelle, she says, sure. I feel like soup is basically a blend of flavors in liquid that is eaten out of a bowl. Back in my ute, she typed ute. That's hilarious.
Perfect.
My mom would only buy the bland Cheerios, so I would doctor up by crumbling up Reese's Cups and sprinkling sugar on top. Oh my.
Wow.
This would result in a chocolatey milk at the end and packed with sugary flavor.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When we would get Cheerios, I would dump like a pound of sugar on the bowl because, you know, they're just Cheerios. Yeah. The Reese's Cups is a nice touch, though. I like that.
It is a nice cup. I mean, next level shit. Right
it
there.
is.
That's
It really is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Dev, he says, tough question to answer. If you're strictly talking about the stuff that comes in the box, no. If you're talking about the combination of milk and cereal, it would be a gray area.
Which is what we were talking about. I should have specified that in the questions and whatever, but I'm assuming what we were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah.
The strictest definition of soup would exclude most cereals. Even soups that are served chilled tend to be cooked, then chilled to serving temperature. This means oatmeal would fall with the soup category as you have to cook it prior to serving it. You could technically add in other cereals since they would always require some kind of cooking prior to packaging. You just happen to be serving a pre-chilled version. Now, if you remove the cooking requirement as a qualifier, cereal and milk would definitely be a soup. Think of it like cream-based soup with grains.
Interesting.
Philip, he says, is oatmeal cereal is the real question. Okay, I'm reading it right.
Yeah.
And then Dev responded, yes, it's a cereal grain that is also served like as a hot cereal.
Mm-hmm.
So I have all that.
Yeah.
Crazy Life co-host Genevieve, she says, nope. Soup is a blend of flavors. Cereal is a food with a milk sauce.
I like the milk sauce comment.
Milk sauce, yeah. And then Dev responds with, milk has flavor and so does the cereal. Blend of flavors.
Mm-hmm.
So she shoots back, LOL, describe the flavor of milk. Plus there isn't blending. Layering, maybe, but not blending.
Mm.
And once again, Dev goes, skim tastes like softened well water. Whole tastes like cold liquefied shortening with some sugar. Accurate.
Yeah, it is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then Philip, he said, or I'm sorry, not Philip, Nate again coming through, the old diggity dog, says, I'd say no. Also, is oatmeal stew? Is coffee soup?
Yes.
Question. Soup of the gods. That's what I have on Facebook.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I noticed that seems to be, like, really and truly that's what it came down to, is how a person defines soup. And, you know, the different definitions for soup that I looked up really, truly, much like Dev said, pretty much, you know, rule out most cereals. So,
Right.
you know, but anyway, over on Twitter, my co-host on The Crazy Life, our pal Heno, said, though cereal shares many characteristics of soup, if you remove the milk, cereal is still cereal. The same can't be said of soup, so not soup. Good
Fair
point.
enough.
Mm-hmm. At HobiePod says it all depends on how you define soup, which I think is exactly what I said when you first posed the question. Was like, well, it depends on how you define it, because it's, you know, and when we
Right.
looked it up, it, like I said, I think it does rule out most of it.
Right.
I actually also put a poll up, and I was hoping for more votes, but, you know, asking this question on Twitter, and it was 67% no and 33% yes. So, and let's see, did I get, nope, Cheeto didn't send one in. And Ashley said that basically, you know, cereal already has, a name basically, like cereal is cereal. It's not soup type of a thing. And, you know, she basically went through, you know, breaking down the definition and stuff of it too, which is exactly, you know, basically how I felt about it too. It's like, unless I can't really find many definitions that do it, but I can see where people definitely argue this, you know, because it's just something to discuss, much like the, you know, the ones from last year and stuff we've seen with the, you know, our hot dog sandwiches, or is a burrito a sandwich? Is tortilla a bread? You know, all those kind of ones.
Right.
So, yeah. And those are their own independent conversations, but it looks like overwhelmingly, looks like it's fairly leaning towards no.
Right. Fair enough.
Which is kind of what I figured it would be, but.
So that article it talks about is cereal considered a salad.
Mm-hmm.
That it's under the loosest definitions of what a salad is, and the milk is considered a dressing.
Wow. That's so weird because, again, I think it's so odd because when is this or this, you almost have to break down the different parts, you know? Because, like, now it's like, well, now we have to go define dressing to see if milk meets dressing, you know? That's a weird one, though. That one's one I would probably, argue more against because I think, like it said, you've got to be pretty loose with your definition to call milk a sauce, you know, especially as is, you know, with nothing added or not thickened up in any way, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So.
Like, that's exactly I need bovine titty sauce.
That's
how it's going to be right on the label, too.
Nice. With a really good picture of one.
Oh, yeah, just for the, you know, hotness of it, really.
Yeah, very sensual. Very sensual.
Bovine titties.
All right.
Who says best you can't get sexy?
Oh my. All right. Well, that was, I think that's all we got for last week. If I missed somebody's, I'm sorry. I just trusting what Twitter shows me. So.
Yeah. Fair enough, man.
Yeah. Sometimes they hide because we get various notifications that bury things. So all right.
Well, this week's, we're going to be shifting gears a little bit.
Okay.
Well, I guess not really because it's food related again.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't matter. Fuck off, everybody. What I want to know is what is yours and, of course, the listeners' go-to snack?
Boy, that's a...
Right? I mean, personally, for me, it's a toss-up between a couple things.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, too. The first thing that popped into my head, no pun intended, was popcorn.
Right.
Because, you know, with those, like, different, you know, you can flavor it in different ways. It's a versatile product, you know? Because I can throw Creole seasoning on it if I want that taste, or I can throw, like, cheese powder on it if I want that taste, you know, and kind of So,
Yeah.
or
it
like
simulates shit.
right, or like you can make kettle corn, or so. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else it would be. What about yours? What do you got?
Well, like once upon a time, my go-to snack is probably apples and peanut butter.
Right, that was one of my other ones. Yeah.
Yeah, because that might change your world even.
Mm-hmm. I still like eating it. Yeah. Did as a kid, and I never stopped.
But I mean, right now with what we usually have in our fridge and all that, is my go-to is typically like salami and cheese because no carbs. I'm that guy.
Right.
And I could sit down like. I could just sit down and just deep throw a salami steak.
Well,
salami is the shit.
If people have been listening, it's no secret that you're a big fan of dried meat products, or cured meat products.
I love salami.
Right.
So yeah, I will just annihilate that shit.
That's fair. That's something I always like to do too. Was take some sort of meat, whether it was salami or like even if it was like. Lunch meat, like, turkey and cheese or something like that. I would do that too. So yeah.
And I know this might not be, everyone's idea of a snack because people are be thinking like, oh man, flaming hot Cheetos are the shit and whatever else.
I can't disagree with that. I would eat the shit out of those. So
yeah, but that's just my snack, you fucks.
Right. Oh man.
Neighbor dog barking. That's weird.
Yeah. It's all right. Go outside.
But yeah.
Tell him shut up.
What?
I said go outside, tell him shut up.
Yeah, I probably won't come back.
Yeah, probably not.
That's a bad idea.
Yeah, mine's probably, you know what, honestly, the more I think about it, apples and peanut butter is probably the more reasonable answer. I do eat popcorn occasionally, but I eat apples almost every day. Because I really love apples. So, I mean, I don't eat like 17 of them or something. I eat like either one good sized one or sometimes I'll have like 2 smaller ones or something. But not at one time, split up a couple spots. But, yeah. Also, or sometimes I would do like a string cheese and apple combo because that's pretty tasty also. Yeah. So. Yeah.
I think if I was making snacks for my family, it'd be popcorn every time though.
Yeah. Pretty easy.
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. It's just that, it's always like, Dad, can you make popcorn? Hey, honey, can you make popcorn? It's always everyone wants you to make popcorn.
Yeah.
I think it's because I got like the, what was this meme? The sprinkle guy?
Oh, God, I don't remember, but I know who you mean.
About. Yeah. I got that down pat when it comes to salting popcorn.
Oh, right.
Like I'm like a warlock of butter and salt.
Right.
Just fuck shit up, man.
Yeah, I know. I might go eat some popcorn. It sounds pretty good, actually.
Right? It is pretty tasty.
Tony, make me some popcorn.
Hey, piss off.
Right.
But yeah.
All right. So you got a sound drop, or are we just going to skip that this week?
Oh, dude, sorry. Hey, so all those soups questions?
Mm-hmm.
I like what you got. Good job.
And what's your snack and shit?
Show me what you got.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This guy's hit the wall. It's been a long night of podcasting.
It really has. Yeah. This is, by the time we're done with this, we're going to be topping 5 hours probably, or 4.5 to 5 hours. So
it's almost like a job and shit.
Yep. So, all right. Well, let's get out of here because that's it. We got nothing else. So.
Boy.
Tony literally has nothing else.
Dude, I am on feckin' E, mate.
Yep. So, as always, we, mentioned go to saltylanguage.com, check out all the stuff Tony throws up over there. You can see or download all the past episodes and the enthusiast episodes.
Yes.
So go check those out because there's a lot of good fun in the enthusiast episodes, especially. It's less daunting to go listen to those than it is the 346 episodes of this.
But you're definitely not a bitch, so you're going to listen to all 346.
And all the enthusiasts.
You're not a bitch.
What if they are, though? What if they are?
But don't give in to your bitchiness.
Okay, fair enough. While you're there, you can see the networks we're part of, like the Tangent Bound Network, Geek Life Radio playlist, and
Yeah, boy!
I missed.
Watch your back! Danger!
Right next to each other.
entertainment. Yeah, whiffed on that one for sure.
Oh, man.
Took a good cut,
So
though.
whiffed.
Took a good cut, you know?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. No depth perception when you're looking through one eye.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's also a link to our Patreon on there if you'd like to help us out. There's various,
What the fuck? I didn't even hit anything.
wow, apparently
That was weird.
Dr. Roxo,
Oh, jeez.
what is going on, man? Dr. Roxo's all over this
My-
episode.
My headphone cord was setting it off.
All right. Wow.
That was weird. Can't with cocaine.
Right. Yeah, there's different reward levels on the Patreon, so you can go check that out if you'd like to help us out. Or if you're going to be shopping on Amazon, please swing by our website first, click the banner, and it'll take you right to Amazon. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps us out a wee bit.
Yeah, indeed.
Or if you're using Apple Podcasts, I keep calling it iTunes, but Apple Podcasts, please rate, review, and subscribe. Remember, 5-star ball wash. And
5-star ball wash.
that helps us out. If you're using Stitcher, Spotify, or other apps, please use the like or share options because it, again, helps us out and it makes us more visible in the searches and whatnot.
Definitely want your boys to be visible.
Oh, they want us to be physical.
I was trying to say physical and visible, and it came out fizzable.
Visible. Wow. That's strong, Tony. That's some strong work right there.
Yeah, I know. Where's Roxo? I do cocaine.
Right? If you want to contact the show, the best way is at salty_language on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Stunami.
You can find me at Monotony, aka Monotony, or you can really hit me up on the old Snapchat, salty_language.
You can find me at Ninjitsu if you'd like to.
Also Salty Language on Instagram, which, we covered earlier of all the Stone Cold nonsense.
Right. I'm just Stunami on Instagram if you want to follow me over there.
Yeah, I'm not going to plug my personal one because I don't remember what it is.
Fair enough.
Yes.
All right. So I think that's all the plugs. So with that, as usual, we'll tell you to have a beer, you'll be fine.
I'm going to tell you to happy 316 day.
Well, and in going with that, when you hear the glass, it's your ass.